What's up, YouTube? Morgan here with Mindflayed Mondays. I'm coming back after being gone for a week due to the holidays. I hope everybody enjoyed their Kwanhaama's, whatever it is you celebrate. Hope you guys had a blast, got what you needed, and got to spend time with the ones you loved. We're back now with a new DM tip. This one's a very important one. It's probably one of the most important skills you can have as a dungeon master, and that is improv. So let's jump right in. Being a dungeon master requires us to put on a lot of different hats when we're playing with our friends. Sometimes you're putting on the hat to be the store merchant, other times you're the referee, and sometimes you're just the big bad monster in the dungeon. But probably the most important thing that you can do when you're playing as a dungeon master is be the storyteller. Being a storyteller in a Dungeons & Dragons game isn't as simple as creating one story arc and having it go forward for your friends. If you're going to write just one simple story, you might as well just turn it into a novel. The biggest pull for players is the freedom to choose their own path, and that is what makes Dungeons & Dragons so awesome. But this also means that if you made plans for north and west, that there's a good chance that your party might just decide to go southeast and completely throw you for a loop. So you might be asking yourself, how do you prepare for that? Well, it's pretty simple actually. While there are a lot of ways to do this, I have found that it's a lot simpler to prepare my games by just creating simple bullet points of what I want to have happen. Creating these bullets allow me to implement them wherever I need to, depending on where my players decide to go. A good example is if I had a sewer prepped for my players inside the city and they decide that, well, we're tired of the city, we want to head off into the mountains. Well, now that sewer map that I built might be used as a cavern system up in the mountains. And you might just switch out a few monsters and just change it like that. And you can do that really easy on the fly. And it works much better than doing something mid-game like this. You guys want to go south? I wasn't... Hold on. I don't know if you guys really weren't supposed to go that way. You guys was not ready for this. Now, that doesn't mean that I'm saying it's never okay to get stumped for a moment or two. And honestly, when it happens, take it for what it is. You know, have a moment, embrace it, laugh, and, you know, just realize that sometimes your players are going to get the best of you. Doing things like having bullet points prepped and changing maps up on the fly can really make your job easier when you're trying to prep a new location for the evening's adventure. Another thing to consider when you do improv, especially if you come up with something completely on the fly, is how it can allow you to take your players completely by surprise and take your game to a whole nother level. In one of my games recently, a player did a random search at night inside of a city and rolled high enough, and I decided to throw in some shady figures moving through the streets. He followed them and ended up creating this whole new interaction with a thieves guild that I created up pretty much on the spot. And the players loved it because also now they had a new contact and a new opportunity for new adventures in the future. So just to go over a quick recap of today's topic. Try creating bullet points instead of fully fleshed out adventures. So this way you can switch up enemies and locations on the fly and still allow your players to feel like they're in complete control of where they're going. And don't be afraid to throw out a new idea into the middle of your story. It might bring you and your players somewhere you didn't expect and somewhere completely amazing in your story. That's everything I got for you today. I hope this information was helpful and gives you some ideas on how to improv in your own games without going too crazy into it. If you love this, please subscribe. Tell us what you want to hear more about. Maybe you have some ideas that you'd like to ask questions. Feel free to comment below. You can follow us on Mindflayed Mun on Twitter, or you can find us Mindflayed Mondays on Facebook and Instagram. You can also go to mindflayedmondays.com and see what we got going on there. Thank you guys so much for watching. Can't wait to see you, and Happy New Year.